Hey, let's see what Anthropic has said about the partnership with SpaceX. This is one thing that is really funny because a few weeks ago, Elon Musk was calling Anthropic as misanthropic. He was criticizing a lot this company, but now they've signed one partnership. Okay, it's just business, so let's see what's happening. The Claude AI X account has said yesterday, May 6th, that they've agreed to have one partnership with SpaceX that will increase the compute capacity. This means that what I was talking in the last videos, it was correct. They was facing limits with their servers resource. It of course makes sense. Another video that I've released the last week was talking about the SpaceX strategy for servers in the Earth orbit. The points are being interconnected. The things are making sense right now. This, along with our other recent compute deals, means that we've been able to increase our usage limits for Claude Code and Claude API. So they are doubling Claude Code's 5-hour rate limit for Pro, Max, and Team plans, removing the peak hours limit reduction on Claude Code for Pro and Max plans, and raising our API rate limits for Opus models. This is great, but they are not increasing the weekly limits. If you reach your 5-hour limit, it will be discounting your weekly limit. That's the same way. Our agreement with SpaceX means we use all the compute capacity as their Colossus 1 data center. This gives us over 300 megawatts of additional capacity to deploy within the month. Nice. So let's see this. Higher usage limits for cloud and compute deal with SpaceX. Sorry to be reading it with you because, I'm just trying to give the more correct information for you without putting my opinion on that. So they've agreed to have one partnership with SpaceX to increase their limits, blah, blah, blah. As we discussed the higher limits, here they have one table explaining the entire maximum input tokens per minute, 30,000 to 500,000. Wow, maximum output tokens per minute, 8,000 to 80,000. Nice. So let's see about the partnership with SpaceX. They will use Colossus 1. This gives us access to more than 300 megawatts of new capacity. NVIDIA is involved on that. This additional capacity will directly improve capacity for Cloud Pro and Cloud Max subscribers. This joins our other significant compute announcements, and up to 5 gigawatt agreement with Amazon, which includes nearly 1 gigawatt of new capacity by the end of 2026. A 5 gigawatt agreement with Google and Broadcom, which will begin coming online in 2027. It's a strategic partnership with Microsoft and NVIDIA that includes 30 billion of Azure capacity or 50 billion investment in American AI infrastructure with Fluid Stack. We train and run cloud on a range of AI hardware, AWS Trainium, Google TPUs, and NVIDIA GPUs. They are using AWS, Google, and NVIDIA technologies for hardware. That makes a lot of sense to me. As partner of this agreement, we also expressed interest in partnering with SpaceX to develop multiple gigawatts of orbital AI compute capacity. This is really funny. We are just talking about sci-fi right now. If I told you a few years ago that we're going to have AI running in the orbit, do you believe me? You would be saying, well, you are just dreaming. You are crazy. It is impossible. But now Elon Musk is making that happen. Incredible, in my opinion. Expanding internationally. For enterprise customers, particularly those in regulated industries like financial, healthcare, and government, increasingly need in region infrastructure to meet compliance and data residence requirements. Accordingly, some of our capacity expansion will be international. Our recently announced collaboration with Amazon includes additional inference in Asia and Europe. We are very intentional about where we will add capacity, so it's not for every country, for everyone basically. That makes sense. They are focusing in American companies, partnering with democratic countries whose legal and regulatory frameworks support investments of this case. They're not gonna deal with terrorists, these kind of things. It's really important because if some radical country put their hands on that, it's really dangerous for us. Finally, we recently made one commitment to cover any consumer electricity price increases caused by our data centers in US. Part of international expansion, we are exploring ways to extend the commitment to new jurisdictions, as well as partnering with local leaders to invest back into the communities that host our facilities. Well, that's exactly what I was thinking about the limits that we was facing the last weeks. It was the hardware limits. Now with this partnership with Microsoft and of course Amazon, Google, and NVIDIA, they will be increasing their models performances. So this is really important for us as consumers. So it just established the power of this new partnership between xAI and SpaceX. So this is strategy that Elon Musk is trying to launch probably will have success. They are having success right now. So he's doing a really good job. All the companies probably will have business with SpaceX, even OpenAI. So I don't think it's possible to avoid this path. Well, Elon Musk always do a really good job in innovation and helping the world growth in technology, in AI and space exploration, all that kind of stuff. And of course, he knows a lot about energy because, he is one co-founder of Tesla. So he knows what he's talking about. And I'm really happy with this news. So we know that the future is great because we can deal with hardware limits because this is one power resource limitation that we face in Earth. But when we talk about Elon Musk and all other space exploration companies just like Blue Origin, we can see that we have ways to work around those kinds of limits and, grow our economy, expending less money, have lower costs. So this is really good. Do you think you do have success? Do you think that Anthropic is making a good business with SpaceX, or it's just one shot in their foot? Let me know your opinion. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video to continue receiving AI, software, and engineering contents. See you in the next one.